Welcome friend, I'm so happy you're here because today is a very important day. Today I am finally submitting the Menacing Loon Blanket for competition at the Minnesota State Fair. And I've been working to get this blanket ready for 10 whole weeks. And that is not including the time that it took me to prepare the graph from which to crochet from. So it's pretty major. It doesn't feel quite real yet. It also, I'm a little sad that this has basically been my entire summer because the state fair is the indication that the summer is over, and that is gonna be in a couple weeks already. But yeah, I'm just happy that this day is finally here. I'm happy that I'm finally can do other things besides crocheting on this blanket. I'm over it. I'm so over it. I've been neglecting the cleanliness of my house. I've been neglecting the backyard. It looks awful. It's an absolute mess. I've been neglecting just so many things because anything and everything that I do in my free time had to revolve around this blanket. So I'm very happy that it's done. We encountered some hiccups, and I definitely don't think I'm gonna be winning any awards with this blanket. At this point, it doesn't even matter. All that matters is that it's done and that I'm finally gonna be able to be a part of the crochet competition because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. Now, just to be able to figure out exactly how much time and effort I put into this blanket, I did a little bit of math and we're gonna go through it together. So the graph that I made, it was 192 rows tall and 320 rows long. But I messed up in the beginning of the blanket and I did a couple of rows twice accidentally. It ended up being 322 rows total. But then I also totally messed up. I did not read the dimensions correctly. So what I saw was that the blanket needed to be at least 45 inches. So I thought that that meant that it needed to be at least 45 inches long. But if I had continued reading, I would have figured out that the minimum dimensions for the blanket was 45 inches tall and 60 inches long. And when I finished the blanket, just purely based on my graph, I think it was almost 45 inches long. And I think it was like 35 inches tall. So technically, I finished the blanket, what I was planning on making, last week, but I had to continue working on it because I realized that I had messed up on the dimensions and it was too small based on the minimum dimension requirements. So I panicked. I tried to figure out what kind of border I'm gonna make, just trying to figure out what is the quickest and nicest, because I still want it to look nice, border that I can make for this blanket. I tried a few things, nothing really quite worked out, and it's not like I had the time to figure it out. I just needed something. So I ended up deciding on just doing a single crochet border all around, and I did 10 rows of that. And then I did the fringe. I think that for today and for the competition, it's fine. I mean, there's no way that I could have done anything else because I literally finished attaching all of the fringes and cutting them all to length last night. Like, I think it was like 8:30 when I finished. There's no way that I could have done any other type of border or any other type of fringe. There just was not enough time. And that definitely affected me. I realized that my stitches were not as tall as they were wide. I think that what showcases this the most is that the eye of the loon is not round. It's very oval because the stitches are just not the same height as they are wide. But I still did a single crochet in every row of the blanket, which means that it just causes the blanket to wave, basically. I should have done less stitches when I'm working on what is the side of the rows, because that would have avoided the waving. But I was in panic mode. I just needed something. And by the time that I realized how bad the waving was, there was just no time to go back. There literally wasn't, because otherwise today, the day that I'm submitting it for competition, I would still be working on it. And I am so happy that I'm not working on it this morning. Yeah, I'm just ready to be done with this blanket. I'm so happy that it's over. Anyway, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I really don't think I'm gonna be winning any awards with this blanket. It has a cool factor for sure, and it's definitely warm. It's not super warm. Not that this matters. The judges, I don't think, are gonna care about this, but in a practical manner, it is a very nice blanket. But yeah, it just has too many problems because I should have just been better prepared and read in full the dimension requirements. I think that is my main gripe with how it came out. It's just the waving. It is what it is. Anyway, I got sidetracked. The blanket is 192 stitches tall, and it's 322 rows long. So that means that there are, not including the border, because I don't know how many stitches are in the border. I'm not gonna do that math. It is 61,824 total stitches. So the yarn that I used for this project is the Lion Brand Respect 100% recycled polyester. It is 248 grams each skein. I had 10 of these, and I went into every single one that I had. So it was a very nice yarn. I did enjoy working with it very, very much, actually. And I worked a whole lot with it, and I enjoyed it very much. So I feel like that's gotta carry some weight with it, right? When I had issues with it was mostly just because it does stick to itself. So if you want to frog, you can frog it kind of okay, but it does tend to stick to it. You need to stop and just kind of finagle it a little bit so that it'll come undone. But it was a very nice yarn. I enjoyed it very much. I did throw the blanket in the wash, and it washed just fine. I didn't put it in the dryer because I needed to stretch this blanket to oblivion. But I think I would be comfortable with putting it in the dryer. I don't think I would have any problems with it. It is also certified by Global Recycled Standard, and that is one of many companies that also gives their certification to Knitting for Olive. It makes me feel like it's not greenwashing, it is proper 100% post-consumer polyester that is in this yarn. Hi friends, Editing Agatha here. At this point in the video, I was telling you how much total grams of yarn I used in this blanket, but I made a miscalculation. So the total amount of grams that I used on this yarn was 1,579 grams. Last but not least, how many hours did I spend on this blanket? I am not psycho, so I didn't time myself every single time I worked on it. I worked on it for the majority of the past 10 weeks. That there's just no way that I could have timed myself. No. But at the beginning of the process, I did try to time myself on how long it was taking me to work on it. So at that time, in 8 hours, I worked 20 rows. There was definitely portions of the blanket that felt like they were going way slower than others just because there was a lot of color changes. But if we were to just use that math, in 322 rows, I might have spent about 129 hours crocheting, which is a lot of hours. I should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the video, but the design on the Menacing Loon Blanket is based on a design made by Rob McBroom. Last year, Minnesota went through the process of selecting a new state flag, and this was not the winning design, but it was a very cool design, and I liked it enough where I knew that it would be very fun to make it for the crochet competition at the Minnesota State Fair. And that's what's led us to today. I am very excited that I finally finished it. I am very excited to have this blanket. And I'm also just a little anxious and excited to see what the process is like to be a part of the competition, because I definitely already have ideas for next year and the year after that. Why do I do this to myself? Don't ask me, because I don't know. In any case, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thank you. If you've stuck with me all summer while I've been doing these vlogs, thank you so much. I'm excited to finally start making other types of videos. However, I am very excited to take you guys along with me to the state fair. I really want to take you guys along with me because it is one of the best things about living in Minnesota. I love the state fair. We're gonna go, we're gonna try all of the foods, we're gonna look at all of the other needlework submissions, and maybe this year, I might try some of the fair games and attractions. I never do the games or attractions. Maybe this year is the year. I think it might be fun. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you're excited for whatever other projects are to come. If you've enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean so much, and there's a lot of other cool videos coming your way, so thank you again. I will see you very soon. Bye! Which, by the way, this is the shirt that I'm wearing today. The dark side of the loon. I thought it was the most appropriate shirt to wear today. Pero la mía son unos colores un poquito diferentes.